Hi, this is Amanda from Berroco, and today I'll be demonstrating how to work the crocheted version of the Greer scarf using Lacey. So the first step to the scarf is to cut a piece of the yarn that's 156 inches long. You're going to want to lay this piece down flat on a surface like the floor or a table, and then bring the two ends around to the middle. So first I'm going to bring the left end and kind of lie it down on top of the first layer, and then I'm going to bring the right hand side and lay that end on top of my left hand end, and I want it to overlap about 2 inches. And to kind of clean up the little messy edge here, I'm going to fold that last inch in on itself. So now I'm ready to begin attaching the ruffled outer border to the center panel. First, I want to insert my hook into all of the layers of overlapping Lacey here, so that I can kind of ensure that those frayed ends will always stay inside. And now I'm ready to attach some new yarn. So I'm going to take the cut end of the rest of my yarn, and to clean up again that frayed edge, I'm going to roll the first inch of it up on itself to kind of enclose that. And now I'm going to put the hook through the top of that roll to kind of secure it. And then I'm going to draw all of these loops through my set of loops from the center portion, like that. I'm ready to start following the stitch repeat for working the ruffle on the outer edge. There are 2 stitches, stitch A and stitch B, and they're worked alternating until you reach the corner. And I want to point out, when you're looking at the yarn, there are these open areas and dense areas that are alternating, and the large loops are these big loops on the edge here, this one and this one. There are no large loops here, just 2 in this area, 2 over here, 2 over here. So stitch A, you want to work leftward along the inner piece of your scarf and insert the hook into the next available large loop. And you want to make sure that you put it through all the layers of yarn that are making up this interior portion. So I'm going to insert my hook through all the layers into that next large loop, and then I'm going to pull those loops through the previous loops on my hook. So that's stitch A. And then stitch B is worked on the new piece of yarn that is becoming the ruffle. And what you do is skip the next available large loop. So looking here, this loop right here is the next available large loop, and I'm going to skip it and insert my hook into the second available large loop, which is this one right here. And now I'm going to pull this loop through the loops on my hook. So that's stitch B. And we're just going to keep repeating that until we reach a corner. So here, for stitch A again, I have 2 large loops. They're the next available ones. So I will pull those through my previous loop. And now up here, I'm going to skip the first next available large loop and go to the second one, which is going to be here. And pull that through. And now here, once I'm reaching a dense area on my lower portion, I know that there are no large loops in it, so I'm just going to go all the way over here to the next set of large loops on the bottom layer. Insert my hook through all the layers of it and pull it through. And then repeat stitch B. I skip the first available loop and I go to the second one, draw it through. So I'm going to repeat this process until I reach the first corner. For the corner, you're going to continue working stitches A and B, but on the center portion, we don't have any large loops to insert the hook into because we're going along this short little end here. So you just have to insert your hook into this double layer of fabric and treat it like it's a large loop until you reach the other corner. So I'll stick my hook all the way through all these layers here and draw those loops through this loop just as if it were a regular stitch A. I'll still work my stitch B's just like normal because there are large loops. I just completed the last stitch B of my 5 repeats along the short end of the scarf, and now I'm ready to start working normal stitches A and B again all the way along the length of the scarf until I reach the opposite corner. So now I'm going to start looking for those big large loops again, and they aren't matched up perfectly right now because of the way that they were folded, so I will seek them out. I see there's one here on my first layer. Insert through there, and then I found the matching one on the second layer. So now that they're matched up again, things will be easier to find. So I can continue working just like I was on the previous flat edge. And I can keep on going until I reach the other corner, which I will do exactly the same way as I did the first corner. So now I'll continue on until I have done all of my corners and I'm starting to return from the other side, coming along this way, and I'm approaching where I first began this scarf. Now I just finished that stitch A and I'm all out of large loops. I've reached the beginning of when I first started attaching the ruffle, so I have no more loops left. So what I want to do is cut about 1 inch left of my ruffle yarn. So I'm going to cut it around here. And now you want to roll up that last inch, just like we did at the very beginning. And insert your hook through all the rolled layers and draw them through the set of loops that's on the hook. And now this is the very last stitch. So what you want to do is take some matching sewing thread and secure this last stitch, and then you'll be done with the scarf.